So someone's getting on your nerves, and what the heck are you going to do about it? Why are you hanging around them? Why are they getting on your nerves? What's that all about? I'm Brad Shore. I'm a licensed therapist. Stand by for Ask a Shrink. So someone's getting on your nerves. Well, that's pretty common, right? Whether it's coworkers, family members, people you live with, whatever, people can get on our nerves. That's a common saying, but let's explore that a little bit as to what that's about. Are they really getting on your nerves? What does that mean? And if so, what can you learn from this? What is it about you that you can learn from it instead of focusing on the other person? That's what I want to talk about today. So the common saying, they're getting on my nerves, get them away from me, oh my God, they're driving me out of my mind. Well, it's less about them and more about you. So if you're hanging around someone like that and they're continually getting on your nerves, let's say over a period of years, then why are you hanging around them? What is it about you that you're allowing this negative energy to be in your life? Why are you either attracting that or wanting that to be around you? Because if this is ongoing months and years, then clearly you're not exercising your right to make healthy boundary decisions for yourself. You're not deciding what kind of energy you want around you and then setting up boundaries to ensure that you're not around negative draining energies. So sometimes we can't help it. For example, maybe you work in a cubicle with another coworker that you have to be around in order to keep the job that you need. So that does happen, but there's still a choice involved with that. There's still a choice that you want to keep this job, and so therefore tolerate what's going on around you. So it still really is on you. It's not on the other person. It is on you because you're choosing to stay at this job. So the reason I'm drawing you to this awareness is that it puts the power more back in you instead of focusing on them. There are going to be people in our lives that sometimes they're going to be difficult to be around them. That's part of being alive and being human. And you can't control them, but you can control your reactions to them. You're putting the power back on you, and therefore you're less inclined to want to just lash out at them and blame them. Why are you choosing to have somebody in your life as a friend or an acquaintance that you know gets on your nerves? What are the perks for you? How are you benefiting? What sort of satisfaction are you getting out of it? That's a tougher question to ask, right? Instead of just blaming them, it's more difficult to go inside and ask ourselves what the benefits are for us. So if that's happening in your life, I want you to ask yourself those questions. So another question to ask yourself is, what is it about them that makes them get on your nerves? Something to think about. Because if they're overly polite to a fault and that gets on your nerves, or if they're overly friendly to a fault and that gets on your nerves, then it may be something that you're lacking in yourself, that you're seeing in them, and you wish on some level maybe you could be a little bit more like them. Are they on my nerves because really I wish I had more of that in me? And by seeing it play out in them, it's only reminding me that I need to work on that part of myself, and I don't want to do it. So therefore, I'm going to make sure that I say that they're on my nerves and maybe talk negatively about them in life, when in reality, if you go a little deeper, that's really not what it is. Now, once you've analyzed some of this and you feel for valid, healthy reasons that you need to have boundaries from this person, they are toxic perhaps and very negative in their life, then you have to ask yourself why you're not setting up healthy boundaries about that. So there again, it comes back to you, because if they are toxic, you need to learn how to have these boundaries to separate people like that out from your life. You need to reclaim your power and remove yourself. And if you're worried about upsetting the apple cart or somehow pissing somebody off, or I won't be the good person, they won't really like me anymore and I need to be liked all the time, then these are questions you need to ask yourself, because there's a reason you're not setting up healthy boundaries in your life. And that's the thing you need to think about. And the last point I want to make is you're not going to change them. You're not going to change anybody. Think of how difficult it is to change ourselves, right? It's tough to change our own self, more or less trying to change somebody else. It just simply doesn't work because they have to find it within them to want the change to begin with. Not because people are going like this to them or nagging them. That's never going to work. So you're not going to change people. So that's important to remember when it comes to people who are getting on your nerves, because you may think that if you hang out with this person for the next 10 months or 10 years, that somehow you're going to make an impact and you're going to get them to change, and doesn't work that way in life. You're only going to waste the next 10 months or the next 10 years of your life trying to do that. So what I want you to take from this is you're not going to change anybody whatsoever. It doesn't work that way. We're not set up that way. In fact, it can actually cause people to dig their heels in even more and be determined not to change. So that's not a healthy strategy. So I want you to give that up and instead have healthy boundaries about who you're hanging out with, and look more inward internally than outward externally, because we can't change everybody in this world by any means, but we can be aware and control our reactions to situations. That's where you have the real power, and that's important to remember. So let me know if you have any questions or comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Please subscribe to this channel if you like these kind of mental health videos. And until next week, I'm Brad Shore signing off from Ask a Shrink.